Right, so let's put on this dog leg on this side. Here's the dog leg here. Kind of laid out. This one here is not as bad as the other side. As far as the metal goes, there's a little hole right there. I don't know if that might have been just from a spot weld that I pulled off. Not a problem, really. Seems pretty solid there. This is just as rotten as the other side. I mean, look at that crusty rust even on the hinge. It'll actually come off, no problem, once I take the door off. So I do need to put on this side, this piece. And then you can kind of see how this fits because part of it's still there on this one. It kind of goes like that. But if you notice, the shape's a little different. This is kind of generically shaped. What's there is kind of has this little round corner. And that's why on that side I actually cut it right here. I slid it on the corners. I slid it down the corner a little bit here. I slid it down the corner there and bent that side in to kind of replicate that. So if you saw me do that, that's why. So I'm going to do that over here. Then I have to, this is so rotten, I need to peel all this off. If yours, like I said, if you have one of these and it's pretty solid up here, don't try to take off everything like I'm doing. It's a lot harder that way. It's easier if you have good metal up to here, and let's say it's rotten down this below. Cut your new panel and then put it onto that area. Don't try and cut all the way up because it's much harder to repair. So this one there I had to take all the way off though. This is going to come up. This side here. Let's get you guys over here. This side here, there's an inner panel that's inside behind here you can't see. I got to peel this away, and then there's a little weld point right here. What this black panel is here is a continuation of this part right here. So let me get back. You can see from here down, that's a continuation is what this piece is. That was all one piece. And then there's an inner panel inside of it. So let's look at this side of the door. Hopefully we can see. Let me hang on one second. So I don't know if you can really see what I'm seeing. There's actually, this is an outer skin, and there's an inner panel. Let's see if you can see it under here. I don't know if I can't see what you guys are seeing. But if you can see, there's an outer skin here, and then there's an inner panel up in there. This outer skin has to come off, and then the inner panel is what I'm going to weld to. So I'm going to take it all the way off, all the way around here. Hopefully you guys can see when I'm pointing. I'm going to take all this little skin off here all the way around, and then I think this has to come off too. This little piece has to come off, and then this part comes off. So really hard for me to film it. And then this piece here goes in lieu of that outer skin. Okay, this replaces that outer skin. Okay, it's the continuation of all this panel right here, as this would normally just go all the way down and has this part welded inside of it. So like I said, this is a repair panel. This is not an exact perfect fit, so if you're wondering why it doesn't fit, that's why. If you're doing yours, it's something that definitely, if you don't need this, don't do it. Just put pieces together or whatever. If yours is missing, then you need this panel. I mean, it makes it so much easier. You can do it without it, but it's so much easier to figure out with that panel, the patch panel, and they're not expensive. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and make this up, and I think I'll do that in fast motion, and we got let you guys trying to get you guys up close this time to watch. So I got the other thing on there on the bottom. And it's, you know, it's really tricky to get that thing straight. I mean, I'm a little off, but it's all right. I mean, about as close as you're going to get it. And the gaps are pretty close. Let's say they're all right. I mean, I had to jack this thing up really hard. They don't just fall into place. I don't think they're gonna. And this one maybe is out just a hair on the bottom. So it goes down and kind of comes out a little bit. But it actually matches up to the dog leg better. So, I don't know. Is it going to be right? You know, it's one of those things that a lot of this goes behind the bumper. So, you know, it's up to you on that stuff. If you want to sit there and play with something for 4 or 5 days, you can do that. Trying to figure this out here. This thing always ends up kind of stretched a little bit. And then this part wants to go down and in. And it's just, they're not really like that normally. I guess maybe it is. It goes in and turns. I don't remember them being like that, but I usually straighten them to make them go straight down. But anyway, got a little cold going on. That's why my voice is a little different. I think I've got it pretty well lined up. It's looks like it's sticking out a little bit right here. Maybe if I weld it like here and then kind of bang it in a little bit as I do it. I don't know. You kind of got to know what you can do and what you can't do. And this is going to come out good. And of course, this is a little low, the way it's supposed to be. Hit this down a little low here to fill that. It's about 1/8, something like that, a little less than 1/8. And the lines look pretty tight. There's a little bit of looseness going on, but that's easy to fix actually. You can just use seam sealer, usually your finger, get it nice and clean, wipe it real nice, you know, that's the way they're normally done. So anyway, that's how that looks. I don't know if I should weld it yet or not. You got to look at them for a while. So when I bring this up, okay, when I bring this edge up, look, see how that edge is moving. So when I bring that one up, is it going to line up better? I think so. It looks like this gap's like wider right here, and then it goes narrower. And I'm not sure how to correct that, because then if I correct this, then this tightens up too much. I could bring that down a little bit. If I bring that down a little bit, I'll open up this gap, but it'll open up this one as well again. And I have to try and push this back up and weld it. But I'm up against the seat stand. Yeah, that's the way they go. You know, that's why I say, you know, it's up to you on how you get it fit. You know, if you really want it tight, you could literally spend a week on one of these things if you really are seriously finicky, and then, you know, by the time you're done, you spend a week more than you should on one thing. Another thing, another thing, another thing. Now you're talking about 2 years of your life. Again, is it worth it? So, kind of looking at here, I think this is where it's going to go. Yeah, but once it's there, it's there. I mean, you can always drill out your spot welds and move it. I've had to do that before, you know. Those are all things you consider when you're doing these. It's just, you know, figuring out how it's going to set. These are a little tougher than most panels, you know, because it's got this curvature. You know, you've got 3 angled edges. You've got, you know, the roundness of the door and the fact that it's not flat when it shuts. It shuts at an angle, and it's round and it's concave. So look here at that angle there, and then remember this side is at, like, I would say, whatever is that, a 30-degree angle or something. It's not straight like this, like a Chevy or Ford or something. The door shuts square, and this thing shuts at an angle like that. Makes a totally huge difference on what you have to do to line up the panels. and how well you're going to get it to line up, you know. So maybe that is a little tight over here. Probably okay. It doesn't look like this door was, a lot of them you get swung open and they spring, and then that brings the hinge forward. And that's something you need to look for. Sometimes you got to beat that hinge back. Sometimes sometimes it's the whole nose that's moved out. So, you know, so I said, if you really want it nice, perfect, on these doors you can spend, like I said, weeks on one of these to get it to line up. I'm not willing to do that, so I'm going to call it right about here, I think. Yeah, I think I'm about good. I think I'm just going to go ahead and start welding this thing in. Of course, what I do is I'll start welding. If you saw the other video, I'll start welding. I'll weld up a couple plug holes. I'll make a couple of, get my spot welding drill bit, drill a couple holes, weld a couple, shut the door, look at it, you know, see how much gap there is there, hammer that back down. And believe it or not, this is a pretty narrow gap here. And I'm stretched out about as far as I can to the dog leg, and I had to, you know, vice grip that panel over. So it was actually kind of, the dog leg was kind of like out here, so I had to bring it in. You know, that's typical. So they don't fit quite right. It's not exactly the same as the original. And every bus, you know, depends on where you were in the run. You know, they retool and start over again, you know, every so often, and then they would all fit good again, and then they would, you know, as the runs go, the tools kind of wear out, and then further down the line, they start to not fit again, and then they stop the line, and they start over again. You know, that's how they built these things. So anyway, let's get some welding done. I think I want to take it off again or just wing it. I don't know, that welder seems to doesn't care for this dirty that much. I mean, it's a little tougher when it's dirty than it's clean, but it seems like I can get a pretty good weld with it dirty, so maybe I'll do that. So I don't want to take it back off again, because what happens if my screws strip out? So if I'm good right here, I think I'm just going to roll with it and get my grinder in there and do what I can. And whatever I can't grind, I'll just do it dirty, and it'll, you know, get it hot once, go back, hit it again, make sure it's sticking good, make sure there's no voids in the weld, make sure it starts playing strong, and it can be pretty darn strong. When you're doing multiple spot welds, in my opinion, that's okay. A lot of guys will say, oh, you got to have every spot weld hold. You know, when you're doing, if you're 95 to 98, 99% of your spot welds hold, and you're putting, you know, as many as I put on here, you know, you're probably okay. I put a lot of welds in, so, you know, if you think that some of your welds aren't going to hold, then put more of them. You know, then when you go back and check them and you grind them, then you see some that came off, you grind it and you hit them again. You know, you just do it till it's right. That's all I can say. You know, I don't stop welding until I know it's going to hold. You know, when I have that many holding welds, I know that I'm good. All right, I'll talk to you next video, or talk to you next section here. I think I'll put you guys on fast motion, let you watch out. Tell you what, guys, that Harbor Freight welder sure does make a lot nicer looking welds, huh? Let's grind them down, take a look. And they grind down pretty flat. A couple of parts where I burned through the edge. It doesn't really matter. There's a piece of rubber that goes around here and wraps that covers all these. It's called the seat stand mat, so you won't see it. I'm gonna have to hammer this guy in because their bends aren't quite the same. You know, this is original and it doesn't meet up to that, so who knows? Doesn't matter. Once it gets all done, it'll look fine. Alright, so let's look how this one's lining up. Pretty good. Pretty nice. Not bad. A little bit low. But then up here it's pretty tight, so I don't know if I can really fix that. So maybe it's the shape of the dog leg, who knows. But anyway, we keep going here. Weld this thing up. Let's do a couple more here. I'm using a spot weld drill because it's flatter. It's to remove spot welds, but it works good for it's a little easier to feel it. That's what these ones look like. I like these ones better than the ones that make the hole. Let's weld some stuff up real quick. Get the old helmet gloves on. Sometimes I don't have my gloves on because I'm just doing a little spot, but most of the time I like to have them on. This welder doesn't spit as much as the other one, so it's a little nicer on your hands. Oh, burned through. My other welder, just turning it down, I could probably never get it to spend that much time on one weld. It just burn right through it. Even if I had it turned way down. So it's a little slower, but it gives you a little more accuracy. This Harbor Freight welder, if you guys are new to the channel. This is the titanium. These actually work really well. I was really pretty excited about it. I've been using it, and I probably won't use my other one for sheet metal much anymore. This thing just does a lot better job. It's a lot easier to control. Get you guys up a little better spot. My light's not very good right here, so hopefully I can see and get you guys to see at the same time. It's usually what happens is I miss stuff because I can't see. Did I get it? Looks like I did. Alright, I gotta get you guys out of the way. Alright, we'll continue on. I'm gonna do this spot down here too. Then I'll make that other piece. I'll kind of show you guys how I did that on the other side. I didn't really show that on the other side. I didn't have my floors. I have the floors now, but let's take a look at that. So this is how this kind of looks like here. It's supposed to be down flat against here. Yeah, it is. And then there's this little weld edge along here. If you notice, I just cut slits in here. I just will quickly use the nibbler. It's just easier, faster. And then I cut slits in here, and they made it so it will bend the compound angle, because it goes in an angle and then it goes up at an angle too at the same time. So you had to do slits in here, these slits to go around the corner, and then these ones to make it go up. So I did that and welded in this piece here, and just lap welded a piece in here. Good enough. Like I said, I get a little filler. You never see it. The other side, seam seal. Make sure it's all sealed up. If you want it, you can fill it too, whatever. As long as it's filled and sealed, no water gets between the layers. That's the whole idea. No moisture in there. So, anyway, that's that. This side. And the other side's going to be the same. Look at that door shut again. Got a little bit of an overbite, but I mean, I could fix it. There's a couple different things I was going to tell you guys if you ran into that situation and you really wanted to fix it. You take the wheel off, put a wood block behind here. There's a space for it. Wood block behind, and then hit it really hard and kind of try and bend this inner piece right here at an angle a little bit. So when you hit it really hard, it will kind of want to bend that at an angle and then push out just this area without doing the whole thing, and get it to line up a little bit better. There's stuff like that, you just have to get creative and figure out, because what you're doing is you're just bending this piece right here. You're going to bend that at a little bit of an angle, and it'll bring it out, a 1/16 or so, and then that'll fix some of that. Or I could drill out all the spot welds along here if I wanted to, and push out this top edge, and then reclamp it. If I wanted to do that, I could do it. Am I going to? Probably not. I'll probably just leave it like that. I'm good with it. But I'm just saying, if you ran into that situation and it started to walk on you, that happens when you're putting it on. So keep shutting the door. I guess I wasn't really thinking about, I had too many welds here, so I'd have to take off everything but like one weld. It'd take an hour or so to fix, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I'm just saying how you guys, if you have that situation going on, you can fix it. There's always a way to fix it, So it's just up to you how much time you want to spend. I got a lot more work to do. I got all this in the front. I've got these inner holes, all these little parts here. I think I'm going to make them. I mean, that takes a lot of time. In the back, all this stuff, all the inner panels and all that. There's a lot of time. I've got this whole, I mean, how many months do I want to spend on this? Or years for some of you guys. You never know. I might get it almost all done, and then I'll cut that sucker out again and fix it. It could be done even after the floors are in. It's all depends on what you want to do. I gotta weld this edge in here still, so I'll do that. I'll put you guys on fast motion. Let you watch some of that stuff, and then I'll cut out pieces for this and make that real quick. Get that going. up that how to do that piece in there, but I can't really get the camera in there. It's really hard to do. Noise alert. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm gonna kind of give you guys an idea how I did that. Thing keeps coming loose. Okay. Take my piece here. Let's go look at it over there. Alright, so 20 gauge metal. So I'm gonna right, say right about there is where it. I gotta bend my angle first. Hang on a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'll bend my angle like this. See, that's probably the straightest line there, right? Can't really cut with this thing right now. It's gotta take it apart again. It's Harbor Freight bender is always a pain in the ass. See about right there. I want a full 90. I get it kind of about like that. Okay. Let's go look over here again. So what I'll do is I'll get the nibbler and I'll cut out. Can you guys even see that? My hand? Nope. Move you back a little bit. I'll cut out right here out of this piece so that I have that nice groove there. If you can save that, it's good. If you can't, you know, you can. I've just put flat metal in, and I've also done, you know, take a hammer, a ball peen hammer, and a block of wood, and you can actually make that shape in a block of wood, and just use the ball end, and then, you know, knock it down. You can do that to shape that if you wanted to shape this piece, or if you have a bead roller, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slit cut right here. I'm going to just use these. I got these shears sitting here, so I just noticed them. I like to use the nibbler is a lot easier. So I'm going to underlay this piece. Yeah, I don't know if I'm put it over or under. Decide. It doesn't really matter right now. I'm just showing you guys how to do this. Take this piece, slit cut it here. You cut it about 2 places because that's a kind of a slow bend, maybe 3. It's kind of a slow bend. Not too far. And then let me straighten this out. I'll bring you guys back in. Now it's going to want to bend this angle, right? So go around that corner. You follow me? And then it needs to go up now. So I got a slit cut right about here, going upward. Let me do that real quick. So I got these slits in here. Now I can kind of tweak it so it goes up, and then weld up these seams. Okay, you can weld them up, or you can tack it a bunch of places in the back, whatever you know. I'm just showing you how to do it. You figure out the rest. Of course, this needs to be straightened out. You hammer and dolly it up a little bit and get it. This isn't really the right tool for that, but it's what's closest, right? So then it goes up at an angle like that. I'll slit out this, cut out this little thing here for this thing, and then I'll put it in place. It's just too hard for me to do. You guys are right in my way, so but I need you to see a little bit so you can know how to do it if you have that situation, which is like VW bus all. You do the front floor, you're going to be doing this section here almost every time. Alright, let's take a look where we're at. Take a look at this job. I'll do that off camera, weld that in, of course, because I can't really show you. Let's look at that. Well, I still got a weld back here. I think you guys saw the other side on that, right? I just edge weld along here. Get a light in here. I just weld the edge along there, how I did that one. See the one spot weld? Go all the way up. Edge weld around there, around that piece. Right here. I just weld the edge. Originally it was a pinch, you know, so you can't, you know, you can do a plug if you want, whatever. Plug weld along there. It's easier to do with the wheel off, so, you know, but it doesn't really matter. If it's edge welded, that's fine. It'll hold in. Still got to do that. Of course, this is a little low, like I mentioned earlier. It's supposed to be that way for the filler. I don't want filler, you know. Well, I don't want my crack showing after I sand my filler. That's one thing. If you have a crack like that, it'll find it again. So it's better if you have it a little bit low. Anyway, that's it for this dog leg, I think. Yeah, a little bit off on the line up here again, like the other side. Really hard to line that up. It's really not going to matter. Everything that you're seeing there is behind the bumper. So you have to think about that. It's going to be behind the bumper. You can't even see it. You can look at my other bus. I'll show you. There you go. So you see any of that stuff? Nope. So the bumpers hide everything. You know, it's just how much do you want to do behind the bumper? You know, that's up to you. And this bus was almost in the same condition that that one is. So, and I did not hand block this long panel. This was all done with just a DA. Just ran it real quick. I didn't. And this had the same. The rocker was done the same way. There's a little wave in there. I could have got that out. You know, if I wanted to hand sand, I could have easily got that out, but I didn't. I don't hand sand. I don't have time. I'm too old. Too hard on your body. You know, so yeah, this bus was in about the same condition as that one. So there you go. The haters. Yeah, cargo doors are a little off on this one. I made the bottom panels, so that one might come out a little bit better. If you could see, these lines here are a little funky, but good enough. Yep, it was about the same condition, except I did make this whole dog leg. I actually made, I don't know if I might have made that little thing. Used a hammer and socket and knocked it into a piece of wood. And I think I made that top piece. That whole piece was made all the way up to about right here. And all I did was I just made this section by the slit cutting and pie cutting method that I show you guys, and that so that I could get the arc. Same thing, slit cut, pie cut, weld up all those cracks. Then this piece was another piece that was laid on top. Okay, I just made this with flat metal, and then I just made the side with flat metal. That's how I did mine. Can be done. So I don't think you have to buy them. Those dog legs they're expensive. It's up to you. You know, I think they're almost harder to put in than fixing the ones that are here. But I kind of wanted to do a video on installing them, so you guys can see. This whole nose, I made this whole nose on this one. Same thing I'm doing to that one. That bottom edge around there, I made it. You know, yeah, it's a little lumpy, but it's behind the bumper. You can't see it. It's crazy to spend that much time on that. So anyway, that's it. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. You know, enjoy these videos. Talk to you in the next one.